I was shocked when I found out who the mistress was. So, I taught her a lesson she'll never forget. The photo slipped out of his jacket pocket like it had a damn vendetta. It wasn't just some random snapshot. No, this was one of those old-school Polaroids, the kind that develops in slow motion, peeling back layers of truth like it's trying to savor your heartbreak. I just stood there in the middle of our bedroom, fingers shaking as I picked it up off the floor. At first, I didn't get it. My brain just stalled. But then, bam, it hit me like a truck with no brakes. Two bodies, tangled, raw, intimate. A betrayal, frozen forever in 3 by 4 inches of shiny hell. I recognized him instantly, Nathan, my husband. The shape of his shoulders, that damn birthmark on his back I used to trace like a map. 7 years of memorizing every inch of that man. But her? Her face was turned away, like she knew the camera was there, like she planned it. All I saw was that long dark hair draped across her cheek. Something about her was off, unsettling, like a déjà vu you don't want to relive. And there I was, stuck, in the bedroom we painted together last March. I fought for coastal fog. He wanted sea breeze. We compromised, laughed, made out with paint still on our hands. Now, the walls felt like they were closing in, suffocating me with their fake-ass cheer. "I'm home early," Nathan called from downstairs, all chipper, like nothing had exploded. Then came the sound of his keys hitting the ceramic bowl I made in that pottery class he signed me up for, only after his sister reminded him he forgot my 32nd birthday. I shoved the photo deep into my pocket and took 3 long, quiet breaths. I've always been the calm one, the fixer, the one who plays peacekeeper at Thanksgiving when my family goes off the rails. But something ancient was rising in me, something that didn't want peace. It wanted fire. Instead, I fixed my lipstick like a goddamn queen, walked downstairs, and flashed him a smile. "Hey, babe." And there it was, his smile. That stupid dimple on the left side of his cheek, the one that reeled me in back at Aaron's wedding. Was he always this good an actor? "I was thinking we could just order in tonight. Maybe that Thai spot you're obsessed with," he said, like we were still just us. I nodded, trying to keep my face neutral, scanning him for a crack, anything, a flicker, a slip. But he played it cool, like he hadn't just dropped a live grenade into our marriage. "Yeah, sounds great," I said, matching his tone, calm as hell on the outside, while my heart was punching against my ribs like it wanted out. That night, I watched him sleep, laid there, eyes wide open, watching the rise and fall of his chest like it was some kind of sick metronome. He looked so damn peaceful, like he didn't have a care in the world, no guilt, no weight, just snoring next to the woman he was actively destroying. And still, I didn't say anything. Not yet. Something in my gut told me this wasn't just a one-time screw-up. This wasn't some bar fling or random mistake. This was bigger. Her image wouldn't leave me, the woman in the photo, the way her neck curved, the color of her hair. There was something off about how familiar it all felt. Over the next 3 weeks, I turned into someone I wouldn't have even recognized in the mirror. I checked his phone while he was in the shower. I tailed him when he said he had late meetings. I dug through his credit card history like a damn forensic analyst. Hotels, dinners, jewelry I never saw, perfume that clung to his button-downs like a signature I didn't own. Then I found it, the burner phone, hidden in his gym bag like some cheap spy trick, and with it, a digital paper trail straight to hell. Receipts for a necklace I never got, reservations at places we never went. But the real punch to the gut? The texts. I cracked his password, our anniversary date of all things, and suddenly I was inside. And what I saw? It wasn't just dirty talk. It wasn't just lust. It was love. Little inside jokes. Good morning, my heart. Talk about trips they wanted to take. Jokes about how he hated my mom's lasagna. It was emotional. It was intimate. It was like reading love letters from a version of him I'd never even met. And not once did he use her name. Just my love. Or sometimes just S. And then it got weird. They mentioned memories from childhood, stuff that didn't make sense. Nathan didn't grow up here. He moved to Chicago for college and stayed. His childhood crew's all in Portland. That's when I saw the text that cracked the entire thing open. Can't wait for family dinner Sunday. Pretending around her is getting harder. Family dinner. My family dinner. The once-a-month tradition at my parents' house. The one Nathan had never missed in 6 years. She wasn't just some random woman. She was family. That realization hit like ice water straight to the heart. I dropped the phone like it burned me. My brain spun through possibilities so fast it made me dizzy. My cousin Paige? Aunt Rachel, she just got divorced. Could it be Brooke? My brother's new wife? I thought I knew what betrayal felt like. But this? This was betrayal dipped in poison, gift-wrapped in the lies of people who were supposed to love me, served right at my family's dinner table. I didn't cry that night. I plotted. See, when you grow up with 3 siblings, you don't just learn how to share. You learn how to fight back, dirty if you have to. Sunday dinner crept in like a bad storm. That morning, I was hunched over the toilet, throwing up nerves and fury. Then I spent an hour painting my face like armor, covering the dark circles that had camped under my eyes all week. Nathan? He was practically skipping around the house, tried on 3 shirts, finally landed on that navy button-down I got him last Christmas. "You look gorgeous," he said, kissing my cheek while I stared out the car window, wondering if he kissed her the same damn way. Casual, like it meant nothing. We pulled up to my parents' place. My mom answered the door with her usual floral hug, smelled like gardenia and memories I didn't trust anymore. "Harper, sweetie, and Nathan, come in. Everyone's already here." Everyone. That word rang in my skull like a damn fire alarm. I scanned the room like a sniper, looking for it, something. A flicker, a smirk, a look that lingered half a second too long. Tom and his wife Jen were on the couch, their twins tossing Legos around. Dad was deep into some political argument with Uncle Steve, arms waving like usual. My little brother Josh was setting the table with his fiancée, all smiles and Pinterest vibes. And then there was Lily, my baby sister. 25. Wild. Magnetic. Just back from finding herself in Paris 3 months ago. Everyone adored her. She painted, she danced, spoke French now apparently. She was always the sunbeam in the room. And in that moment, I knew. God help me, I knew. She came back from that damn art fellowship 3 months ago, right around when Nathan suddenly got so busy with those mysterious late meetings. "Reese, I missed you," she said, pulling me into one of her signature too-tight hugs. "We seriously need a proper catch-up." I hugged her back. Stiff, mechanical. My eyes locked over her shoulder, on Nathan, stepping into the room. He glanced at her. Not long, not obvious, just a blink. But too long. And just like that, I knew. The same sister I used to walk home from school, shielding her from mean girls. The one I stayed up with editing college essays until sunrise. The one I Venmo'd rent money to when she was broke and finding herself in Rome. The one who always sparkled while I stayed in the shadows, clapping from the sidelines. She was her. The girl in the photo. The ghost that had been haunting my nights. I watched them like a hawk through the entire dinner. They kept their distance like pros. No direct convos, nothing obviously flirty. Just that careful performance of being too casual. But I saw it now. I could read it. The way Reese's cheeks turned pink when Nathan leaned over her to grab the salt. The way his fingers grazed her wrist as he passed the bread basket, like it was nothing. Except it wasn't nothing. "Reese, you're awfully quiet tonight," my mom said, scooping more pot roast onto my plate like I didn't already feel nauseous. "Everything all right at work? With the promotion?" "Yeah, all good," I lied through my teeth as Nathan's hand slid under the table and gave my knee a little squeeze. Used to be, that touch calmed me. Now, it made my skin crawl. Reese jumped in, cheerful like always. "She's just tired. Reese works too hard. Remember when she skipped her own graduation party just to finish that pitch deck?" She laughed, tossing that hair from the photo. She was always the responsible one. And I was her backup singer, her cheerleader. But now she had taken what was mine, just because she could. I slipped away from the table and headed to the bathroom, needing a minute to breathe, or maybe to burn the world down. That's when I saw it, her purse, sitting wide open on the counter like an invitation. Was it crossing a line? Maybe. But at that point, I was done caring about lines. This wasn't snooping. This was war. I grabbed her phone. Same passcode she's used since high school, our old dog's birthday. Easy. It opened in a second. And there it was. Hundreds of texts. Her and Nathan. My husband. My baby sister. Talking like I didn't exist. Like they'd built a whole damn love story on the ruins of mine. Photos that made my stomach flip. Him kissing her neck. Her in his hoodie. Messages that bled with intimacy. "I've never felt this way before," Nathan had written. "It's like you see the parts of me Reese never could. We belong together." And Lily replied, "I feel it too, but we have to be careful until we figure out how to tell her. She's so sensitive. You know how she gets." Sensitive? Like I was some fragile little glass thing they had to handle, instead of the one holding our entire damn family together for years. But the kill shot? A text from yesterday. "What if we just left, started over somewhere? Reese will move on eventually. She's always been strong like that." Strong. They were gonna shatter my entire life and justify it with that word. Like calling me strong was a get-out-of-guilt card. Like that made it okay. My hands were shaking so hard, I had to press them flat against the sink just to breathe. I took screenshots. All of it. Proof. Then came the knock. Soft. Innocent. "Reese, you all right in there?" Lily's voice. Sweet. Steady. That same voice that once cried in my lap over a high school breakup. The same voice that swore up and down that sisters were forever. I stared at the door. "Yeah," I said. "Be right out." "I'm coming," I called out, shocked at how normal my voice sounded, when every inch of me was being torn to pieces on the inside. When I stepped out, Lily pulled me into another hug, like we were still sisters, like she hadn't just lit a match and thrown it on my life. "You really do look wiped out, sis. You should take a break, maybe a little vacation or something." I looked at her, really looked at her. Same eyes as mine, same shape, same color. But no guilt behind hers, no flicker of remorse. Just that smooth, performative concern, polished and rehearsed. She should have been on Broadway. On the drive home, Nathan glanced over. "Want to stop for ice cream? It's Sunday after all." "That used to be our thing." I shook my head. "No, migraine." He nodded and turned on the radio, humming along to some god-awful love song about forever and fate and finding your one true soulmate. I stared out the window, watching the streetlights blur into one long line of disappointment. "I gave everything to them," I whispered, "and they threw me away like I was nothing." That night, after Nathan passed out next to me, peaceful as ever, I sat in our office with a legal pad and a pen. I didn't write down what I'd lost. I wrote what I was about to reclaim. My dignity, my control, my damn life. If they wanted to label me as strong to excuse their betrayal, fine, let's go with that. But they were about to find out what strong really looks like. People think revenge is impulsive, rage-fueled, sloppy, a knee-jerk reaction to heartbreak. They're wrong. Real revenge is ice cold. It's slow, surgical. It teaches. And I was about to give Nathan and Lily the lesson of their lives. For the next 2 weeks, I lived 2 lives. By day, I was Reese, the doting wife, making his favorite meals, laughing at his boring work stories, even initiating sex that left me feeling like a ghost in my own skin. But at night, I was someone else. I was the architect, the operator. I became the storm they never saw coming. First step, intel. I needed the whole picture, the full map of their lives. So I installed a tracker on Nathan's phone. One night during dinner, while Nathan was in the shower, I slipped out to his car and popped in a tiny recorder. Looked just like a dumb little pine tree air freshener, but it was wired to catch every word. And that wasn't all. I'd hired a private investigator, cash only, paid from a backup account Nathan didn't even know existed. What I found out was so much worse than I could have ever imagined. This wasn't some 3-month mistake. This wasn't a heat-of-the-moment affair. It had been going on for over a year. Right around the time I moved in with my mom to take care of her after surgery, when I was sleep-deprived and juggling hospital visits and spreadsheets, Nathan had been comforting my sister. But the kicker? Lily's whole Paris Art Fellowship? Fake. Total fiction. My parents helped cover her living expenses, thinking she was chasing her artistic dreams in Europe, but she had actually been shacked up with my husband in a damn rental across town. Every time I traveled for work, they played house, like it was their life, not mine. The scale of the lie was suffocating. My husband, my sister, my family— they'd built this intricate web of half-truths and gaslighting, all designed to make me question myself. When I started getting that gnawing feeling that something was wrong, Nathan told me I was too anxious, that maybe I should talk to someone. He literally suggested therapy for paranoia. And Lily? I confided in her, told her I felt disconnected from Nathan. And she smiled and said, maybe give him some space, Reese. Focus on yourself for a while. Unreal. But here's the thing. They underestimated me. Nathan always saw me as the emotional one. Lily liked to think of me as the straight-laced, naive older sister. But they forgot. I'm the one who handled our finances. I'm the one who negotiated our mortgage, planned every trip, filed every document, kept every receipt. I wasn't paranoid. I was prepared. Every document, every statement, every legal record of our life together, scanned, saved, backed up 3 ways. And now? That organization wasn't just a personality quirk. It was a weapon. I found out Nathan had been funneling cash from our joint accounts into a separate one, quietly, consistently, planning their little happily ever after on my dime. Luckily, I'd always kept a few things just for myself, separate accounts Nathan never knew existed. I quietly moved my inheritance into one, and then transferred half of our joint savings into it too. Not stealing, just securing what was mine before he could touch a damn cent. I found a divorce lawyer, someone from out of town, far from the gossipy mouths in our friend group. I laid it all out for her, the affair, the money trail, the manipulation. She listened like she'd heard it all before. Maybe she had. Then she gave me a strategy, how to protect my finances, my rights, my future. "But what about emotionally?" I asked, voice smaller than I liked. She looked up over her glasses. "That's not my department," she said. "But in my experience, nothing heals faster than knowing you've cut off the blade before it stabs you again." I didn't just want protection. I wanted justice. So I built my case like a prosecutor. Downloaded every sickening message between Nathan and Lily. Screenshotted their little inside jokes, their fake love notes. Cross-referenced dates with hotel receipts and gift purchases. I even hacked into an email account Lily thought was a secret. She wasn't clever, just arrogant. Found flirty messages, plans, photos. The damn lease to their hideaway apartment, signed by both of them. But the real game changer? It came from someone I didn't expect. My mom. We were having lunch, just sandwiches and iced tea, and she brought it up so casually. "I'm so proud of Lily," she said, smiling. "Her big gallery show next month? Even your dad's impressed, and you know how he feels about her career." I forced a smile, sipping my tea. "That's great. Where's the show again?" "The Hartman Gallery," she said. "David's been amazing. He used his connections to help her get in through that big client of his, Mitchell Hartman." My blood went cold. Mitchell Hartman. Nathan had been chasing that account for over a year. Said if he landed it, he'd be a shoo-in for partner at his firm. Now it all made sense. Lily wasn't just screwing my husband, she was helping him climb the ladder. She wasn't just using Nathan for love, she was using him to boost her career. And Nathan? He wasn't just cheating on me with my sister. He was risking his entire career, mixing business with pleasure in a way that crossed every ethical line. That gallery show? It wasn't just an art gig for Lily. It was her moment, the validation she'd been craving from our dad since we were kids. And for Nathan, locking down the Hartman account meant everything. The partnership, the title, the prestige, the win he'd been chasing ever since he was that broke intern trying to impress me with cheap wine and empty promises. That night, I made the call. Rebecca Morgan, an old college friend turned investigative arts reporter for the Boston Chronicle. We'd kept in touch, grabbed coffee now and then. I went to her wedding. She sent flowers when my grandma passed. "Hey, it's Reese," I said when she picked up. "I've got something for you, a story." I didn't give her the whole drama, just told her I had solid proof of ethical misconduct tied to the Hartman Gallery's upcoming exhibition. Conflict of interest, serious implications, potential scandal. She didn't hesitate. "Send me what you've got," she said. "If there's a story here, I'll break it." I queued up the email with everything. Receipts, texts, screenshots, and that lovely little lease agreement. I scheduled it to send the morning of the big Sunday dinner I was hosting. The same dinner where both our families were invited. The same dinner where Nathan thought I'd be toasting his promotion. But it was never going to be a celebration. It was going to be the execution. Then the last domino fell. My private investigator called. "Mrs. Campbell, I've confirmed your intel. They're meeting tomorrow at the apartment. Same pattern as before, between 2 and 5 p.m. Perfect. Nathan thought I'd be at some boring team-building retreat. Lily thought I was playing nurse, driving mom to a doctor's appointment. But I wasn't going anywhere. I was setting the stage for the finale. As I hung up the phone, something unexpected settled over me. Not joy. I don't think I'd feel that again for a long time. But power. Cold. Clear. Undeniable power. The kind that comes from knowing you're not just one step ahead, you're 10. They thought I was clueless, playing checkers while they ran circles around me. But they never realized I built the damn board. Sunday rolled in, warm and golden, the kind of early summer day that once would have made me happy. I spent the morning crafting a perfect little illusion. Nathan's favorite roast beef, Lily's beloved lemon tart, my mother's sacred family recipes, pulled out like heirlooms. The table was immaculate. Our wedding china, crystal goblets sparkling with sunlight, casting tiny rainbows over a white linen cloth. It looked like a magazine spread titled Perfect American Family. But by the end of the night, that image would go up in flames. My parents showed up first. Dad brought a bottle of wine he'd been saving for something special. Mom rearranged the centerpiece like it was her life's calling. My brother and sister-in-law rolled in next, apologizing for running late. Typical. Nathan played the part in the kitchen, smiling, charming, sleeves rolled up, carving meat like he hadn't built his entire fantasy life on betrayal. What he didn't know was that the next time he came back here, the Locks wouldn't recognize him. Then Lily showed up. Late. On purpose, probably. She greeted me with a hug, sweet and soft, the same arms that had wrapped around my husband in a bed that wasn't hers. She was wearing a new dress. I knew the price tag because I'd seen the receipt in Nathan's inbox. She handed me a box of boutique chocolates from that little shop we discovered on our sister trip to Cape Cod. She had no idea she'd brought me evidence wrapped in tissue paper. "You look amazing," she said, eyes flicking ever so briefly toward Nathan. "This is so thoughtful of you, Reese." If she only knew. We all gathered around the table. Nathan raised his glass. "To family," he said, voice thick with false warmth. "And to new beginnings." Oh yeah, new beginnings. The meal flowed like a script. Compliments, politics, sibling banter. I smiled, laughed, passed the dishes. Played the part so well they didn't even see the set collapsing behind them. And there, on the sideboard, sat my little Trojan horse. A tablet, synced to our entertainment system, silent and waiting. As dessert hit the table, I rose, gently tapping my spoon to my glass. All eyes turned to me. Showtime. "I just want to thank everyone for being here today," I began, my voice steady, even though my heart was slamming against my ribs like a warning. And there, on the sideboard, sat my little Trojan horse. A tablet, synced to our entertainment system, silent and waiting. As dessert hit the table, I rose, gently tapping my spoon to my glass. All eyes turned to me. Showtime. "I just want to thank everyone for being here today," I began, my voice steady, even though my heart was slamming against my ribs like a warning. As you all know, we're here to celebrate Nathan's hard work and the partnership he's been working so hard to earn. Nathan smiled, that confident, smug kind of smile that used to make me feel safe. He reached for my hand across the table. I let him take it, one last time. "But before we raise a glass to the future," I said, gently slipping my fingers away, "I thought it would be nice to reflect on the journey that brought us here." I picked up the remote from the sideboard. Clicked. The big flat screen lit up behind me. At first, it was harmless. Photos of our wedding, family vacations, birthday cakes, and matching pajamas. My mom smiled, letting out a soft "aw." My dad nodded, proud. Then the tone shifted. "This past year has been enlightening," I said, as the first text appeared on screen. It was the message where Nathan told Lily he couldn't stop thinking about her while I was across town taking care of our recovering mother. Silence fell like a bomb. Then came the photos. Surveillance shots of Nathan and Lily entering their secret apartment. Them kissing in broad daylight, thinking they were invisible. Hotel receipts, bank statements, wire transfers into a joint account they never thought I'd find. "What the hell is this?" Nathan choked out, his voice cracking, his face a sick shade of pale. I didn't even look at him. "I also did a little reading," I continued, voice smooth, "about corporate ethics, especially as they relate to art galleries and conflicts of interest." The slideshow moved to a screenshot of Lily's upcoming exhibition flyer next to an email exchange between Nathan and Hartman. Promises, favors, leverage. Lily's face went ghost white. "Reese, stop," she said, shaking her head. "You don't understand." "No," I snapped, eyes locked on her. "I understand exactly." I stepped forward, every word sharpened like glass. "I understand that while I was building a life with my husband, while I was taking care of our mother, while I was cheering you on and loaning you money and believing we were family, you two were behind my back wrecking everything that mattered to me." The room was dead still, just the sound of my voice and the evidence glowing on the screen behind me. The screen changed again, this time showing a forwarded email, one I had sent the night before to Mitchell Hartman himself. In it, I laid out everything: the affair, the conflict of interest, how his gallery was being used as a bargaining chip in some twisted quid pro quo scheme between my husband and my sister. His reply flashed across the screen in bold. "This exhibition is canceled effective immediately. My association with both parties is terminated." Lily gasped, actually choked, her so-called big break gone in a single sentence. But I wasn't done. Next up, an email to Nathan's firm, along with receipts showing how he'd used a client relationship for personal gain, how he leveraged his job to boost his mistress's career. Their response was short, cold. "We need to discuss your future with the firm. Monday, 9 a.m. Nathan shot up from his seat, slamming his knee against the table and knocking over his wine glass. The red spilled fast across the tablecloth, like blood. "You had no right," he barked, voice shaking. I stood, my chair scraping slowly against the floor. "I had every right," I said, loud this time. Years of swallowing my anger poured into every word. "You screwed my sister in my own bed. You plotted to leave me after draining everything I built. You gaslit me, made me think I was paranoid when I knew something was off." My mom had her hands over her mouth, sobbing quietly. My dad looked like stone, silent, pale, and trembling with rage. My brother looked 2 seconds away from putting Nathan through the drywall. Then I turned to Lily. "And you, my sister, the girl I defended, protected, loved every second of my life." I took a step closer. She wouldn't meet my eyes. "Was it worth it?" I asked, my voice sharp and low. "Was destroying me worth whatever twisted high you got from taking what was mine?" And for the first time since this nightmare began, I saw it. Not panic, not regret. Shame. Real, bone-deep shame. The kind that hits when there's no one left to lie to. "Reese, I'm so sorry," she whispered. I didn't blink. Save it. Then I turned toward the table and delivered the final blow. "Your little art career, in this city, it's done. That email went to every gallery owner in Boston. Lily's face crumbled. "The story breaks tomorrow in the Chronicle," I said evenly. "Your names aren't printed. Yet. That depends entirely on how you both handle what comes next." I reached into the drawer behind me and pulled out a manila envelope. Placed it gently in front of Nathan. "Divorce papers," I said. "Already drafted. My lawyer handled everything." He stared at them like they were radioactive. "Sign them. Agree to my terms, and I won't push for a public investigation into your little stunt with the Hartman account." Then I pulled out a second envelope, slid it across the table to Lily. "This one's for you," I said. "A legal agreement waiving any future claim to our parents' estate. Equal in value to everything I paid for over the years to keep your dreams afloat. With interest." Her lips parted, but I cut her off. "Sign it," I said, "and I won't forward the more graphic parts of your affair to every friend, contact, and gallery owner in your network." Nathan suddenly lunged forward, face flushed with rage. "You vindictive—" Before he could finish, my brother stood up, fast, blocking him like a wall. "I really wouldn't finish that sentence if I were you," he said, voice low, fists clenched. My father finally spoke. His voice wasn't angry. It was something worse. Disappointment. "Lily," he said, looking right at her. "Is it true? You and Nathan?" She couldn't even lift her eyes. That was all the answer we needed. My mother wiped at her face, voice shaking. I think it's best if you both leave, now." And just like that, everything shifted. For the first time, my family saw. They saw what I'd endured, what I'd uncovered, what I'd survived. The golden child, the artist, the favorite, was now the outcast. The charming, polished son-in-law, stripped bare, exposed as the fraud he truly was. As they gathered their things, avoiding every eye in the room, I felt no triumph, no smile, no gloating, no satisfaction. Just the quiet weight of closure. What I felt wasn't triumph, it was something colder. Hollow vindication, and the first fragile threads of freedom. Because in the end, this wasn't just about exposing them. It was about reclaiming myself. As they neared the front door, I said one last thing, just loud enough for it to sting. "You know what the saddest part is?" I said. "I would have done anything for either of you. Anything. And you threw it all away for something built on lies." They didn't turn around. After the door shut, my family closed in, quiet, steady, solid, in a way I hadn't expected. My brother pulled out his phone and called his best friend, happens to be a top-tier divorce attorney. My dad put a hand on my shoulder and said, "Whatever you need, I've got you." And my mom, she just held me. For the first time in this whole hellish unravelin', I let myself cry. Not quiet tears, not graceful ones. I broke. And they stayed. In just 30 minutes, I had burned down the illusion Nathan and Lily built on my pain. They thought they were untouchable. They weren't. They thought I'd crumble, but I didn't. I stood. 1 year later, I stood again. This time on the balcony of my new apartment, watching the sunset wash over the Boston skyline in soft golds and dusky pinks. Behind me, laughter echoed from the living room. My parents, my brother, a few close friends. We were celebrating my promotion, VP of Strategy at the firm I joined post-divorce. It wasn't just a new job, it was a new life. The divorce finalized 6 months ago, cleaner than most, because Nathan had no legs left to stand on. I left him with the legal equivalent of scorched earth. He lost the partnership, barely clung to his job after heavy PR cleanup. Last I heard, he transferred to the Seattle office, about as far from Boston as he could get without falling into the ocean. And Lily? She went back to Paris, said she needed time to refocus on her art. But we all knew what it really was. She ran. From the shame, from the silence, from the wreckage she helped create. And me? I stayed. I stayed and rebuilt, piece by piece. Not because I had to, because I could. She wrote me letters, long ones, multiple. Apologies, explanations, whatever she needed to say to sleep at night. They're still in my desk drawer, unopened. Maybe one day I'll read them. Maybe I never will. My mom still talks to her now and then. She doesn't bring her up around me. She knows I need the space. Some wounds scab over. Others leave permanent scars. Then came a voice behind me. "Hey, successful lady." Rebecca stepped onto the balcony, holding 2 champagne flutes. The same Rebecca who broke the gallery scandal in the Chronicle. True to her word, she never named names. "Penny for your thoughts," she said, handing me a glass. I smiled, raised mine, and we clinked. "Just thinking about trajectories," I said. "How you think your life's heading one way, and then suddenly you're on a whole different path," she finished for me. "Exactly." She tilted her head. "Better or worse?" I thought about that for a second. Really thought. "Different," I said. "Harder in some ways, but it's mine, really mine." And that was the truth. The pain hadn't disappeared. I still had moments that hit out of nowhere, like walking past David's favorite cereal at the store, or finding an old photo of me and Lily as kids, arms around each other, faces glowing with that kind of love you think is unbreakable. But those moments were softer now, fewer, watered down by new memories, new friendships, a life built on truth instead of fantasy. And yes, I got a therapist, a real one, not because someone made me feel broken, but because I deserved the space to heal. In one session, she said something I'll never forget. "Trauma rewires your brain. You'll never be the same as you were before. But different doesn't have to mean less." She was right. I wasn't less. I was tempered, stronger in the broken places. I could have kept the house. I got it in the divorce. But I didn't want it. Too many ghosts in those walls. So I sold it. This apartment, every piece of furniture, every color on the wall, every corner of this space, it's mine. No compromises. No adjusting for someone else's taste. No pretending. Just me. And for the first time in a long time, that felt like enough. My relationship with my parents had changed. We all had. The old family script, me, the responsible but invisible eldest, had finally been rewritten. I wasn't the background character anymore. I was seen, heard. Especially by my dad. The man who used to reserve his softness for Lily had started showing up for me in ways I never thought he could. "Speech time," my brother called from the living room, breaking into my thoughts. "The woman of the hour's gotta say something." I laughed, stepping back inside to the warm, buzzing energy of my people. Chosen family. Friends who didn't disappear when shit hit the fan. Colleagues who respected my mind, not pitied my heartbreak. I raised my glass, caught a glimpse of myself in the window. Shoulders back, eyes clear, smile real. Not the tight, artificial grin I wore in the final days of my marriage, but something raw and earned. "Thank you all for being here," I began, voice strong. A year ago, I thought I was losing everything that mattered. I didn't realize I was actually finding what really matters. Later, after everyone had left and the apartment was quiet again, I opened the balcony door one last time. The night breeze rolled in, cool and clean. I stood there, taking it all in. The betrayal, the unraveling, the slow, brutal rebuilding. Some people might call what I did revenge. I don't. I call it justice. Not just for me, but for anyone who's ever been made to feel invisible by the people who should have loved them the most. Because here's the thing about betrayal. It dares you to choose. Do you let it destroy you, or do you use it to become something stronger? I choose strength. I chose me. And in the quiet aftermath of everything I lost, I found something I never expected. Freedom. The freedom to create a life with no lies, no masks, no settling, no shadows. Some lessons cost everything, but once you learn them, no one can ever take them from you.